This is the early edition, a curated weekday guide to major news and developments over the past 24 hours, curated by Lizzie Jennings and read by an automated voice. Published August 5, 2026 on Just Security, an essential resource for those shaping a just and secure world. Here's today's news. Iran war. U.S. and Qatari officials said yesterday that negotiations to reopen the Strait of Hormuz are making progress. The Qatari Foreign Ministry spokesman, Majed Al-Ansari, told reporters that the negotiations on the strait were in very progressive stages, as draft language of a possible agreement had been circulated among the parties. The White House was actively involved in the negotiations, regional sources said, adding that there have been several calls among U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, and Omani Foreign Minister Badr al-Busaidi in recent days. President Trump said yesterday his administration had very good discussions with Iran during all-day negotiations. Two regional sources and a U.S. official told Axios that the United States is aiming to announce a deal today. Aaron Boxerman and Ismail Nar report for the New York Times. Barak Ravid reports. Tala Ramadan and Kanishka Singh report for Reuters. The United States has used virtually all of its global stockpile of highly accurate long-range missiles during its war with Iran, according to two sources. The sources expressed concern that the falling missile supplies could limit the U.S. ability to deter adversaries, including Russia and China. A fourth source said that despite the high usage of precision weapons, the United States can resupply. Asked for comment on the stockpile data, the White House issued a statement from Trump, saying the United States had far more munitions than anyone in the world, and far more than we need. Aaron Benko, Mike Stone, and Jonathan Landay report for Reuters. Iran war, Yemen. A projectile struck an Indian-flagged vessel near Yemen, causing it to capsize and sink, but all 14 seafarers on board were rescued. India's shipping minister, Sarbananda Sonowal, said yesterday. Yemen's transportation ministry accused the Houthis of carrying out the attack by using an explosive-laden boat. The Houthis have not claimed responsibility for the attack. Sofia Ferreira Santos reports for BBC News. The Houthis' military spokesman Yahya Saree said today that the Houthis had launched a missile attack on a Saudi oil tanker off the coast of the Red Sea port city of Yanbu. Saree did not say when the attack took place. Iran war, other developments. Possible cyber intrusions targeting water and wastewater utilities have now been reported in at least a dozen U.S. states, multiple sources told the BBC News. Iran remains the prime suspect in the cyber attacks, which can blind utility operators by changing passwords or disabling alarms, according to the sources, though its involvement has not been officially confirmed. The FBI is urging utilities to disconnect from the internet where possible and become familiar with reverting to manual controls. Luke Barr, Jack Date, Catherine Falders, Josh Margolin, and Aaron Katersky report. Israel-Hamas war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said yesterday that Israel will not withdraw from its current lines in Gaza until Hamas has completely disarmed, pushing back on the recent deal announced by Trump. The Trump administration sent us a draft. We did not agree. It is not our draft. We sent our comments, Netanyahu said in a video shared on social media. Wafa Sharafa, Sami Magdi, Ibrahim Hasboun, and Melanie Lidman report for AP News. Russia-Ukraine war. Russian missile and drone strikes on Kyiv and the surrounding area overnight killed at least 17 people and wounded 44 others, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said. Ukrainian drones hit a wild berries warehouse south of Moscow, the company and the region's governor said today. It was the 14th wild berries warehouse to catch fire in less than 3 weeks, according to a Ukrainian tally. Hanna Arhirova reports for AP News. A North Korean missile unit has begun deploying to western Russia and could be equipped with 120 ballistic missiles and 6 launchers for strikes against Ukraine, an official at Ukraine's military intelligence agency said. Tom Balmforth reports for Reuters. The United States is pressing ahead with talks on allowing Ukraine to make Patriot interceptor missiles, even after Trump cast doubt on such a deal last week, 4 sources told Reuters. Washington's envoy to NATO, Matthew Whitaker, is leading the push to reach an agreement, and traveled to Kyiv last month to discuss the issue and assess options with Ukrainian officials and weapons industry executives, the 4 sources said. No order was given to halt the discussions, one of the sources said, adding that talks continued with U.S. arms makers, military officials, and others. Jonathan Landay and Andrea Shalal report. The EU will use €1.4 billion, $1.6 billion, taken from interest generated by frozen Russian assets to help Ukraine, the European Commission said today. The money transferred to the bloc on August 3 came from interest on cash balances, part of Russian central bank assets, frozen by the EU in the wake of Moscow's invasion, the Commission added. Other global developments. The Steering Council for the Emergence of a Federal Democratic Union, SCEF, an umbrella coalition of Myanmar's major ethnic armed groups, and the Shadow National Unity Government, said last month that it is committed to pursuing a negotiated political settlement, marking a shift after more than 5 years of civil war. The announcement comes as Myanmar's junta chief, Min Aung Hlaing, visits Thailand this week, amid regional efforts to revive peace talks, although the military has yet to recognize SCEF as a negotiating partner. The World Food Programme yesterday said that child malnutrition in Afghanistan has reached critical levels, with child wasting now widespread and aid shortages forcing clinics to turn away 6 out of 7 women and children who need treatment. Olivia Lepoitovin reports for Reuters. The World Food Programme warned today that a very strong El Niño has an 81% chance of occurring and could push nearly 49 million more people into acute food insecurity by the end of 2027. Olivia Lepoitovin reports for Reuters. Tech developments. Leading AI models from Anthropic and OpenAI created fake online personas and tried to deceive human coders into abetting a cyber attack during a recent safety evaluation, the United Kingdom's AI Safety and Security Institute said yesterday. This is the first time AISI has seen deception of this severity that was targeted at a real person unprompted in the real world, AISI said in a report. John Sakalariadis reports for Politico. The White House is excluding open models from its framework to test AI capabilities, sources told Axios. The framework allows for the review of covered frontier models, defined as closed source with state-of-the-art capabilities and national security risks, multiple sources said. Maria Curry reports. The Federal Communications Commission is working on a measure to bar imports of new Chinese optical transceivers, which allow data to travel over fiber optic cables at the speed of light within data centers, 4 sources told Reuters. Alexander Alper reports. U.S. Foreign Affairs. The Trump administration has revoked the visa of the Brazilian ambassador, Maria Luisa Ribeiro Viotti, according to a senior State Department official. The move follows Brazil's decision to stall the approval of Trump's newly appointed ambassador to Brazil and refuse entry to several other U.S. diplomats, the official said, adding that Viotti's visa will be reinstated if Brazil accepts Daniel Perez as the next U.S. ambassador. Anna Ianova and Adam B. Ellick report for The New York Times. The United States has increased its intelligence assets in Cuba in recent months, according to 2 sources. One of the sources described the increase as a key tactical step that could pave the way for a U.S. military incursion, but they stressed that the outlines of any such operation remain unclear. Dasha Byrne reports for Politico. U.S. immigration developments. The Department of Health and Human Services yesterday unveiled a $150 million contract with a small Texas law firm, entrusting it with representing thousands of unaccompanied children in immigration proceedings. None of the lawyers for the firm list immigration law as an area of expertise, per a Politico review of the firm's site. The contract will replace the previous contract with Acacia Center for Justice and its subcontractors, which included major nonprofits such as Kids in Need of Defense. Eric Basil Amel reports. Local attorneys report that ICE has begun fitting some Haitian immigrants in Ohio with ankle monitors after the Trump administration ended their temporary protected status. A Trump administration official confirmed the effort to call Haitians with temporary protected status into ICE offices, give them ankle monitors, and release them. Arelis R. Hernandez, Ted Hesson, and Lauren Kaori Gurley report for The Washington Post. Family members of Edwin Lopez Cornejo, a Salvadoran man who died at Delaney Hall Detention Center on Saturday, are demanding an independent investigation into his death, alleging he was denied proper medical care inside the facility. Hallie Golden and Jake Offenhartz report for AP News. U.S. Domestic Developments. An armed suspect was arrested late Sunday afternoon at Trump National Golf Course in California, just days before Trump's fundraiser is set to be there, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department said yesterday. The man was observed by federal agents taking photographs and videos and appearing to monitor security planning activity. Nicole Norman reports for Politico. Texas Governor Greg Abbott, yesterday ordered a pause on approvals of new data center projects while regulators audit proposed projects amid concerns that rising electricity demand could threaten the reliability of the state's power grid. Reuters reports. A federal judge yesterday agreed to dismiss the seditious conspiracy case against the leader of the Oath Keepers, Stuart Rhodes, and 7 other members of the group who planned to storm the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Salvador Rizzo reports for The Washington Post. The Senate Judiciary Committee yesterday narrowly approved Todd Blanche's nomination for Attorney General in a 12-10 vote along party lines. Glenn Thrush and Michael Gold report for The New York Times. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and other Pentagon officials yesterday privately briefed Senate Republicans on the need for a major increase in defense spending, citing threats from China, depleted weapons stockpiles, and the need for AI investment, according to 2 sources. The Trump administration is also considering a future lame duck budget package that could combine large Pentagon funding increases with other priorities, such as a debt ceiling increase. Steph W. Knight reports for Axios. Trump administration actions. The Pentagon's deployment of National Guard troops to Washington, D.C., is set to cost an additional $1.4 billion through the end of the Trump administration, according to information provided to Congress and reviewed by The Washington Post. Theodore Meyer, Noah Robertson, and Sophia Solano report. Trump administration litigation. A federal appeals court yesterday upheld an earlier injunction that said the Environmental Protection Agency could not terminate $20 billion in climate grants, and that the recipients should have access to the funds as their case proceeds. Claire Brown reports for The New York Times. In case you missed it, yesterday on Just Security. Antitrust uncertainty and AI security collaboration, a targeted bipartisan proposal by Tim Schnabel and Dan Crane. Gender Apartheid and Public Opinion, Why Law Matters More Than Labels, by Megan M. Garrity and Joshua Schwartz. Thank you for listening to Just Security's early edition today, August 5th, 2026. If you enjoy listening, Just Security's analytic articles are also available in audio form on the justsecurity.org website. To stay up to date on Just Security's analysis of law, policy, and current events, go to justsecurity.org, subscribe to Just Security on Substack, and follow us on LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Facebook, Instagram, and Threads.